I got to start honest and say I did not want to come here. I am in an interracial marriage. My wife is from California, and when we got married in Tennessee, we moved just north of Knoxville. And my wife got her first real taste of prejudice and racism, and it was very, very hard on her. In fact, one vivid memory among many was one night we were at the Olive Garden, and she heard this man whisper under his breath, "I can't believe she's with that N word." And it just really shook her. And so he was decided that we were getting out of the South. She didn't want to do this anymore, even though I grew up in the South my whole life. And of course, because that's my wife, I said, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's start looking around. And so we knew God was calling us to plant a church, and we investigated my hometown in Louisiana. We also looked at New Orleans. We looked at Sacramento, and actually there was a brief period there where I was entertaining taking over the church she grew up in, but we just did not feel the Lord's draw in that moment. And one day I got a random email, and I won't bore you with all the details, but it was from a recruiter hired by North Point Ministries. When North Point was doing their 30 and 30 years church planning strategy, he had found me through my blog. He invited me to go through a series of interviews. I did, and that whittled it down from 250 candidates to five. And so I got an American Idol like phone call, like, "Hey, you're in the top five." And I said, okay. And so I was trying to plan for the interview here in person in Atlanta, and we set it up where when I flew back into Atlanta, because I was going on a missions trip to Cambodia, that I would just roll straight into this interview. So my wife met me down here. We had the interview and realized pretty quickly that there just wasn't a match with what they were trying to accomplish and what was in my heart. And so in my mind, I'm like, great, I'm free of
Yeah.
Atlanta. I'm out of here. And when we were driving back, we got lost in the Atlanta neighborhood, Grant Park, um, and just ended up driving in circles for a couple blocks looking for a gas station. And almost, and I will say almost audibly, I've never heard the audible voice of God, but there's been four times where it felt like a lightning bolt to my chest. One was marrying my wife. One was moving to Atlanta. Uh, and and I sat there and I was so shocked, and this will give you the context. I was so shocked the light turned green and I didn't move because I was so lost in this weight that I was suddenly feeling for this place and for these people. And so we got back to Tennessee. I didn't say a word to my wife. And about 2 days later, in the middle of the night, when all wives get their best ideas, she she wakes me up and she says, "Hey, I think we're supposed to go to Atlanta."